What happens when a sitting congresswoman faces off against one of the most notorious conspiracy theorists in America, armed with nothing but cold, hard evidence? Tonight, you're about to witness a political showdown that shocked the nation, went viral within minutes, and became a masterclass in exposing lies. Alex Jones thought he could intimidate, manipulate, and overwhelm. But Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett had a plan that would leave him speechless. Watch closely, because this isn't just a debate. It's history in the making. The studio lights blazed harshly, casting every shadow and wrinkle into sharp relief as Alex Jones leaned forward, smirk plastered across his face, ready to dominate with his signature aggression. Across from him, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett sat composed, manila folder neatly at her side, eyes calm but resolute, exuding a tension that signaled an impending clash of forces on this televised battlefield. "Alex," Crockett said quietly, her voice cutting through the charged atmosphere like a scalpel, "I've been waiting for this moment." Jones laughed, unaware that his usual tactics of loud accusations, dramatic gestures, and rapid-fire conspiracy claims would falter tonight. Crockett was armed not with theatrics, but with preparation, patience, and undeniable evidence. "You talk about truth," Jones barked, finger pointed like a weapon. "Your party spreads lies, attacks independent media, and now you lecture me?" Crockett's response was deliberate and measured. "Mr. Jones, I'm a sitting member of Congress and a trained attorney. Professional courtesy still matters, even here. Let's focus on the facts." The audience sensed the gravity. This wasn't a simple debate, but a confrontation between profit-driven misinformation and evidence-based accountability. Slowly opening her folder, Crockett let the weight of her evidence speak. "Tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what your version of truth looks like," she declared, voice steady and unshakable, causing Jones to pause mid-rant, sensing the subtle yet devastating trap. As she revealed internal emails from Jones's own staff, detailing strategies to maintain audience engagement at the expense of grieving families, the studio fell silent, gasps echoing softly. One email read, "Alex knows the families are real, but the audience doesn't want to hear that. We need to keep the conspiracy angle going for ratings." The second outlined how to redirect skeptical audience members. "When people ask for evidence, redirect to emotional arguments about government overreach. Don't engage with specific factual claims because they don't support our narrative." Each revelation struck like a hammer, exposing the prioritization of profit over people and sending Jones's confidence faltering. Crockett's methodical, surgical delivery let the truth speak louder than any theatrics ever could, her calm authority dominating the room. With every document revealed, she dismantled Jones's empire, laying bare the meticulously documented lies and the suffering profited from, captivating the nation as it watched the historic spectacle of truth confronting deception. The tension in the studio escalated to an almost unbearable level as Crockett produced the next stack of documents, financial records that revealed the chilling scope of Jones's profiteering. The audience could feel the weight of the moment. These were not abstract accusations, but hard, irrefutable numbers. "You made over $1.2 million in profit directly from spreading lies about murdered children," Crockett stated, her calm voice carrying moral authority, hitting the room like a bomb and leaving even Jones's supporters stunned. His bravado faltered. That's not, those numbers are coincidental," he stammered, but Crockett remained unwavering. "Coincidental, Mr. Jones? These are your own records, your own communications. Your supplement sales increased by 340% during the months you promoted the elementary school conspiracy. Audience donations rose by 280%. The figures were more than statistics. They revealed deliberate exploitation of grieving families for personal gain, and sweat formed on Jones's forehead as his narrative crumbled. Each document she presented compounded the moral and factual impact, the contrast between his desperation and her calm precision turning the studio into a courtroom of truth. Then, with the audience completely silent, Crockett reached for her final, most damning piece of evidence. A recorded phone conversation between Jones and his head researcher. "Mr. Jones," she began, "do you remember a conversation you had with your head researcher 2 years ago regarding the elementary school families?" His face paled, and he denied it. Holding up a transcript, Crockett read, "Jones, I know the families are real, but we've gone too far to back down now. If we admit we were wrong about this, our whole credibility is shot." Researcher, "But Alex, some of these families are getting death threats from our audience." Jones, "That's not our responsibility. Our job is to ask questions, not to manage how people react." The audience gasped, the moral gravity undeniable. Jones had knowingly allowed real harm for profit and credibility. He erupted in desperation, screaming about globalist conspiracies and setups, but Crockett's calm precision rendered his chaos hollow. "This recording was made by your own employee, who came forward voluntarily because they could no longer participate in harming innocent families," she stated, driving home the chasm between recklessness and responsibility. Locking eyes with him, she asked, "Knowing what you know now, knowing that real families lost real children, and knowing your audience has harassed these grieving parents based on your lies, do you have anything to say to them?" Jones's only response was a desperate, unconvincing protest about asking questions, leaving the audience recoiling at the stark contrast between her measured, evidence-based authority and his profit-driven chaos. In that moment, Crockett had not only dismantled a conspiracy theorist, but exposed the mechanics of greed, deceit, and harm for the nation to witness, creating a historic confrontation of truth versus exploitation. As Crockett's final evidence sank into the studio, Jones's control unraveled completely. He screamed, waved his arms, and pointed at Crockett in a futile attempt to regain dominance. But every protest sounded hollow against her meticulously presented facts. His usual tactics, yelling, interrupting, and blaming the establishment, had no effect. For once, chaos was not working in his favor. The audience sat in stunned silence, watching a man who had built an empire on fear and misinformation crumble under the weight of documented truth. Social media reacted immediately. Within minutes, clips of the debate went viral, showcasing the stark contrast. Crockett composed, methodical, and unwavering. Jones frantic, defensive, and exposed. The hashtag Crockett Destroys Jones began trending nationally within 30 minutes. As thousands of posts highlighted the devastating visual narrative of evidence confronting unchecked emotion. Financial repercussions hit swiftly. Sponsors withdrew advertisements, payment processors reviewed partnerships, and online supplement sales plummeted by over 60% in the first week. Politically, leaders across the spectrum praised Crockett's calm, professional approach, with even some conservatives acknowledging her thoroughness, emphasizing that accountability transcends partisan lines. Legally, civil attorneys representing affected families noted that Jones's meltdown, combined with his own admissions, strengthened ongoing cases and prompted new lawsuits citing willful misconduct. Media outlets incorporated the debate into courses on journalism, media literacy, and psychology, analyzing her measured strategy versus Jones's reactionary tactics as a benchmark in rational discourse. Crockett had not only dismantled a high-profile conspiracy theorist, but shifted the conversation on public accountability, media responsibility, and evidence-based advocacy. Lawmakers, political commentators, and the public alike recognized the broader implications. The debate exposed the vulnerabilities of misinformation networks, sparked discussions on platform oversight, and illustrated how preparation, professionalism, and factual evidence could triumph over theatrics and profit-driven deception. Her victory elevated her reputation, fueled public engagement with issues of truth and accountability, and set a historic precedent for confronting misinformation, catalyzing a nationwide conversation about responsibility in media and politics that would resonate far beyond the studio. The Crockett-Jones debate rapidly evolved from a high-stakes political showdown into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Clips circulated widely across social media, news platforms, and messaging apps, captivating audiences with the stark contrast between Crockett's calm, methodical presentation and Jones's frantic, emotional outbursts. The visual and narrative drama transformed it into an instant case study in accountability, persuasion, and ethical responsibility, drawing the attention of educators, journalists, and political analysts alike. Media studies and journalism courses highlighted Crockett's approach as a blueprint for investigative rigor and evidence-based argumentation, while political science departments examined it for lessons in debate preparation, crisis management, and rhetorical strategy. Psychology classes analyzed the real-world behavioral dynamics on display, studying cognitive dissonance, defensive aggression, and the role of ethical conduct in shaping audience perception. Beyond academia, the debate sparked a nationwide conversation on media literacy, prompting parents, teachers, and community leaders to emphasize the importance of questioning sources and evaluating evidence critically. Social media amplified the impact, with memes, viral tweets, and short video compilations turning Crockett into a symbol of professionalism and integrity, while Jones became a cautionary tale of unchecked rhetoric and monetized deception. The debate influenced policy discussions, with lawmakers, journalists, and media executives scrutinizing the responsibilities of content creators and platform algorithms, demonstrating that audiences respond to preparation, accountability, and integrity. News outlets dissected every moment, framing Crockett's fact-driven responses as a defining moment in political discourse, while social media erupted with reflection, debate, and widespread acknowledgement of the ethical dimensions of misinformation. Public opinion shifted noticeably, as Americans increasingly favored evidence-based, professional communication over theatrics, and former Jones supporters openly voiced their disillusionment. Ultimately, the debate transcended its original political context, becoming a touchstone for understanding how preparation, ethical conduct, and factual rigor can reshape cultural perceptions, influence public dialogue, and provide a roadmap for confronting misinformation in an era dominated by sensationalism and deception. The fallout from the Crockett-Jones debate rippled far beyond public perception and social media, producing immediate and long-term legal, financial, and cultural consequences. Within hours of the broadcast, civil attorneys representing families harmed by Jones's false claims cited Crockett's meticulous presentation as critical evidence, using every exposed email, internal communication, and transcript as a public testament to his deliberate misinformation campaign. Financial repercussions were swift and severe. Major sponsors and advertisers withdrew support, payment processors reviewed and froze accounts, and online supplement sales, a primary revenue source, plummeted by over 60% in the first week. Legal experts noted that Jones's repeated denials, admissions, and defensive statements on live television created a damaging record for ongoing and future civil cases, highlighting knowledge and intent crucial to establishing liability. The debate emboldened previously hesitant families to come forward, and courts began treating the broadcast not just as media spectacle, but as pivotal evidence in assessing the scope and impact of his operations. Beyond direct lawsuits, the exposure caused cascading financial strain across Jones's broader business network, with merchandise, book deals, and subscriptions all impacted, serving as a warning that monetizing deception carries real consequences. Academically and culturally, the debate became a seminal case study. Universities and journalism schools incorporated clips into curricula. Media studies professors demonstrated the power of methodical, evidence-based presentation over theatrics, and psychologists analyzed audience responses to cognitive dissonance and ethical violations. Social media platforms and advertisers re-examined their roles in amplifying misinformation, implementing policies to prevent similar campaigns, while politicians across party lines cited the Crockett Standard as a model for confronting false narratives with preparation, evidence, and professionalism. Memes, viral clips, and online discussions immortalize the event, embedding it into public consciousness as a symbol of accountability, courage, and the triumph of rational, evidence-driven discourse over sensationalism. Ultimately, the Crockett-Jones debate became more than a confrontation between two individuals. It reshaped expectations for political engagement, media responsibility, and public discourse, providing a roadmap for dismantling misinformation and proving that meticulous research, clear presentation, and unwavering commitment to truth can prevail even against the loudest voices of deception.